During my research within the MET program and my observations as a classroom teacher, I gained an understanding about how students learn and how technology can enhance the learning opportunity. One theory that I relate to is constructivism. Constructivists view active learning as inquiry-based activities that are authentic in nature and require communication, collaboration, questioning, and discovering, so students develop their own frame of thought. Prior knowledge plays a key role in this learning success. Utilizing my knowledge of learning, I created a digital citizenship online course that prepares students with the ethical skills for appropriate online communication. Before creating the course, it was necessary to decide what problems need to be addressed and what my learners' needs are. Most students did not understand that online interactions are permanent. Once determined, I created the evaluation plan to be sure the course was appealing and was efficient for learning. I utilized surveys, student projects, administrator and instructor interviews, and my observations as part of the evaluation matrix. I determined motivational strategies to enhance learning. Therefore, I included thought-provoking real-life scenarios that students can relate to. All assignments utilize digital tools with tutorials to avoid technical learning issues. Each module was linked to a guide with objectives, evaluation rubrics, and tasks that are inquiry-based and rich with technology. Once implemented, student pre- and post-course surveys and projects proved mastery of content and enjoyment for learning. I do my best to always create learning platforms with a constructivist viewpoint. I now witness student motivation and achievement by adding cooperative learning tasks developed after analyzing prior knowledge. I invite teachers into my classroom that are interested in incorporating this style of learning with their students. I feel this lesson can help other teachers not only implement this particular curriculum, but take the time to think what their learners require before creating any lesson materials. Motivating students through authentic, inquiry-based activities can harness a successful learning environment. When I reflect upon the art and science of teaching, the first thing that comes to mind is my students. Many teachers may initially believe that lesson plans and state testing are most important, but I have found through my MET studies that asking yourself what do my students need before creating any lessons results in a more beneficial learning environment. Incorporating a well-thought-out instructional design will result in curriculum that is well-planned according to the student's needs. Instructional design is like building a bridge to learning. It has many layers such as assessment and analysis of instructional goals, learner context and needs, and evaluation of training tasks. Each layer leads the way to successful student learning. One such project that I created was an instructional design on the current topic of global warming. My district needs were to enhance technology education, reflecting upon authentic learning experiences. Therefore, students were given the opportunity to create an interactive poster presenting their knowledge gained from questioning and discovery to this societal issue. I evaluated students' knowledge to determine their needs before designing the unit, and I used the ADDIE model of analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation to create the unit. My objectives and motivational strategies were designed specifically to engage students to attain long-term knowledge of new information, and the lesson utilized Bloom's taxonomy and assessment. Evaluations of the learner, field trials, and expert review opened my eyes to the realization that reflection is an important component of teaching. Teaching in itself is an art form. My relationship with my students, student learning success, and professional reflection are critical. When creating lessons for my district, I always keep student needs in mind and take the time to listen and communicate with them. I feel this project will help other educators reflect upon their own lessons. All teachers should put the learner first and then take the time to revise their teaching accordingly. I believe safe learning environments, learner analysis, and reflection are the key to the art and science of teaching. An area that greatly impacted me during my MET studies was the importance of evaluating instruction and instructional content. Before the MET program, Whenever I thought of assessment or evaluation, I immediately thought of student mastery of skills, but never took into account the importance of evaluating the instructional design and delivery. It is important to evaluate student prior knowledge to determine program goals and objectives, and to evaluate the components of a curriculum to understand where revisions or adjustments need to be made. Student success not only relies upon the work ethic of the student, but also relies on the accountability of instruction. For Edtech 505, I completed a formal evaluation on the digital citizenship course that was implemented in the district middle school. The evaluation determined the efficiency, impact, and effectiveness of instruction. I summarized the standards, course goals, objectives, and the technological learning components incorporated. Procedures and data sources included pre-course surveys, post-course surveys, student portfolios, observations, and interviews of staff and students. The results were determined and communicated to the administrators and stakeholders. The digital citizenship course was successful in meeting the objectives, with a few recommendations made for improvement. There were technical issues with firewall blocking content, which needed to be addressed for future courses to prevent frustration on the part of the teacher and learner. This lesson has since been revised and is still in place today. Recently, I had the opportunity to help my district evaluate and revise the current technology curriculum. Curriculum cannot stay the same each year and be effective. All lessons should remain fluid in order to benefit each and every child it reaches. Many teachers can benefit from my evaluation example by applying these methods to their own lessons. We as educators cannot be afraid of evaluation and change. It is the key to our best professional selves and our students' success. Prior to my learning at Boise State University, I never realized or tapped into the importance of networking and collaborating with professional peers. I always thought of my teaching as a one-woman show, with some guidance from a teacher's edition when I was stuck with a lesson idea. Edtech 543 enhanced my appreciation of collaborating with peers on lessons and networking to find resources and lesson ideas. Twitter and webinars opened my eyes to the world of opportunities available just by listening to ideas from other educators. One project I produced was created with my Edtech 543 PLN of 3 classmates. We collaborated to create a social learning unit about games around the world, which has networking and collaboration as the required method of mastering new content. The students collaborated with a classroom across the globe to discuss popular games in their area. The collaboration and social learning method was a chance for students to communicate globally while gaining an appreciation for other cultures. Course expectations were clearly identified, along with assessment rubrics and a social media policy for students to adhere to for digital citizenship and safety. Many social networking activities were included within the unit, each with its own objective in mind. All course requirements, tutorials, and directions were explained for any teacher to incorporate this into an upper elementary classroom. This unit was then evaluated by 2 classmates for successes and possible revisions. This collaborative experience of creating lessons and having lessons evaluated was valuable for lesson success. This unit can help other elementary level teachers incorporate social networking within their classroom and see the benefits of working together with colleagues. I encourage collaboration in my district and do my best to participate in weekly team meetings. Since Edtech 543, I use Twitter and online webinars for professional development and for the sharing of resources. I believe students should see teachers as role models working together for professional success. We have a responsibility to be a reflection of what we teach our students each day. The success of one's teaching reflects the amount of research and training an educator has achieved. Don't get me wrong, your relationship and communication style with your students is important, but appropriate delivery of content that properly integrates technology is not something that comes naturally. An educator is responsible to be knowledgeable of learning theories and guidelines for technology integration. During Edtech 541, I was introduced to the Technology Integration Matrix. This matrix guides a teacher on the appropriate infusion of technology
depending on what the teacher wants to achieve with their students. When I created my cross-curricular unit about weather, I utilized this matrix to infuse technology appropriately. I selected technologies that would benefit the child and eliminate any common misconceptions a child may have throughout the topic. The teacher's guide can be used by any elementary teacher to incorporate directly into their classroom, and all the required resources are at their fingertips. There are spreadsheet lessons, a video library, social networking activities, internet lessons, science and math resources, history and the arts lessons, and digital storytelling activities. There is even a well-researched assistive technology page to help achieve learning success for students with disabilities and the gifted learner as well. I utilized an evaluation checklist to carefully consider each resource, which provided proper guiding questions for technology integration. I have taken these guidelines and research and utilized them throughout all my lessons.
I keep current on new research to create technology-rich student-led learning environments, and I share these lesson ideas with my colleagues. I continue to provide professional development reflecting my graduate learning. All teachers need guidance when infusing technology, and I believe research leads to best practice. This lesson will help other educators infuse technology effectively by using the matrix and checklist when incorporating technology. Technology is not just a cool gadget, but rather an important learning tool that, when infused appropriately, can create a rich and successful learning environment. Research and practice are essential in technology integration success.